Hi guys, today we're going to learn how to attract higher quality clients and more new patients with the secret sauce that I call it the very little known secret that every clinic needs to know. At the end, I also want to share with you my Google hack that we found got us more than 50 reviews on Google alone and in less than 4 or 5 weeks. So if this is something you're interested in, please watch the video. If you're new to the channel, my name is Stefan and I run a successful chiropractic clinic in the UK. I believe it's one of the best blueprints that I've stumbled across, and that's why now I teach people how to do the same thing with their own practices if they choose to. By the time you finish watching this video, you will know one of the skills that made us, and hopefully makes you at least 5 figures in recurring business, because it's a skill that you need to learn once and you can rinse and repeat it. So, how did we generate 50 5-star reviews in less than 4 weeks? And I'll tell you a story in a minute, because I actually want you to understand the difference between reading a book, following someone on social media and they talk about something that they have heard, versus practicing something that we literally did, I believe it was about 3 or 4 months ago. So it's still very fresh in my memory, and every time we create a campaign that works for us, I record all the systems, all the procedures, all the steps that made it happen. Now, first of all, we need to understand how patients' testimonials actually transform your chiropractic practice. It's not just good to have testimonials. In my opinion, it's become essential. It's absolutely critical to have people talking about you in a positive manner, because I have worked with clients before in the past where I know they're an amazing chiropractor. I know that they're a great practitioner and they get people better. The rest of the world doesn't know about it. So we need to get people to scream and shout positively about you. And in order to do that, and in that process, you will increase your credibility for you and the clinic. You will increase your visibility. What we found is our Google traffic increased dramatically when there was more and more people leaving reviews. You're going to establish yourself as a KPI, or your business as a KPI in the local community. KPI is not key performance indicator in this instance, it's key person of influence or key business of influence. Our clinic now is the place to be where we practice, and we've built many years of credibility, and that's just one strategy that I'm going to teach you how to do that yourself. You want to build authenticity in your practice as well. You can see that one client said something and another client says, oh my god, they also helped me and they helped my daughter and they helped my mum. I call it like the snowball effect. The more reviews you get, the more people want to check out what your practice is all about, and then therefore the more reviews you get, and therefore the more patients you get. But ultimately, it makes better businesses. More reviews can transform in practice by simply generating more revenue as well. And in my consultancy, it's not about just generating revenue. However, it is a big problem for clinics out there, especially smaller practices. You see that one of the biggest challenges for clinics is lack of cash flow. So if you want to understand how to make better businesses, you've got to care about cash flow, because if you don't understand your numbers, it doesn't matter how good you are as a practitioner. So with that said, the strategy behind what the fuck? So with that said, let me show you how we managed to generate a lot of reviews, and it wasn't magic, we didn't spend much money on it, and I hope you find the rest of the video helpful. So, in my opinion, when it comes to reviews, this is just one review we took. We had to hide, obviously, the name for the practitioner and the patient for purposes that we didn't want the information to be seen by everyone. But ultimately, a review is not just a review, it's so much more. You have to understand that, because we now have close to 300 reviews, so you can almost feel like it's just another review. It's not, it's someone's story, it's someone's life. This patient said that was left 2 months ago, but I could have picked any of the reviews. Brought my elderly mum here as an emergency on a Saturday morning. The staff could not do enough to make her feel more welcome, as comfortable as possible. Dr. X has worked miracles with her shoulder, fantastic team, and highly recommend it. It's amazing. I didn't think this was done during the competition that we ran, and I'll show you in a minute how we did that. That was just a patient that we didn't even ask for a review. but it shows you that the reviews tell a story, and the story is usually, especially when it comes to health, it's priceless. And if I'm going to read this review and I'm a patient or potential client, I feel like I'm going to get the same service, especially if you see the same reviews like 5-star, 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 4-star, 5-star. But how we managed to generate 50 plus reviews from our existing clients in less than a month. First of all, you can generate reviews in 1,000,001 ways. The question is, what is the best way for your practice and the most effective way for your practice to do that? Well, it's what suits the practice personality, I call it. So is it Google reviews? Is it video testimonials with the doctor in the room asking the patient how they've found it so far? Is it using Trustpilot to automate the processes more? Is it high quality, expensive video production where you can see the patient coming in, it's welcomed by staff, you've got 2 cameras left and right? It depends on what you choose to select for your practice personality. You might not have a big team, you might not have a big budget to be making all these high-end production videos. In my practice, we do them all. We don't just do Google reviews, we don't just do video testimonials, we don't just do this and that, we do it all. Because the bigger your business becomes, the bigger the scale of the business, the more you have to do. Some coaches say out there that the worst number in business is 1. When it comes to testimonials, that is true for sure. But here is what I want you guys to know. This is what we did. We did a strange competition. And what I mean by that is, and I stole this idea from a good friend of mine, and for them it worked exactly the same way. They bought a skeleton. We bought a skeleton. It wasn't cheap, but trust me, it's such an investment. It's like 250, 300 pounds from Amazon. We placed the skeleton randomly in reception where people can see it. You can see here one of my colleagues and I, and that's the skeleton with a Mexican hat on. We let people talk about it for a few days. What is this guy doing here? What's the skeleton? Kids loved it. They wanted to find out a little bit more about the bones and so on. But what we did after a few days is we set up a competition. And we said, guys, we've got some exciting news. This is actually a screenshot of that email campaign we sent. We need your help to find and come up with a name for our newest member, which is this crazy guy here in the middle. And every time you enter a name, you will have a chance to win X. For us, we bought them like this 200 quid expensive hamper with lots of nice stuff inside. People got excited, and then people started to joke about it. Then we started to get some crazy names. Then all of a sudden we had this like fishbowl where the lists where people were choosing the names were stacking up more and more. Staff were talking about it, clients were talking about it, and all of a sudden we started to see the Google reviews going up and up and up and up. And how we did it was actually just pure and simple email marketing. It wasn't anything, in this particular case, it wasn't anything fancy. This is the exact one of the emails we sent, this script here. We did some in-house advertising, but that was as simple as having a poster or writing something on a blackboard. We also managed to get people involved. It's really, really important to get patients feeling like they're part of it. So what we did in that case is they can take a picture of the skeleton, they can tag us in it, they can share it with friends, and this just turned into like a really cool competition. But you don't even have to do with a skeleton. I just want you to be creative here. And we ran it for about 3 or 4 weeks. We actually got a few too many Google reviews, all 5-star, because that's another thing. You have to be careful not to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of reviews and not have any full months. So we have systems in place where we also have like weekly reminders, and we get the nice stream of reviews coming up. But this was a competition. We really wanted to make a real big sort of buzz out of the competition, and we got people involved. And we also did it with a little Google hack that not many people talk about, but I did this for my clinic. And what we did was, and I will share that with you in a second, but the result was we had 50 plus 5-star Google reviews. We had an increase in the average Google rating, because we actually had, since opening the practice, 2 people that left us a 1-star review. One was not a client of ours. We still didn't know where that person came from. We mentioned it to Google. Long story short, it couldn't work. The second one was someone who accidentally pressed it and it was an old person and it was their wife, and we managed to explain that that was a mistake. So anyways, it went from us having 5 out of 5 star reviews to 4.8, and this campaign increased our average to 4.9. And I actually believe that's quite healthy for a business, not to be 5 out of 5, because it just seems a little bit too good to be true, you know? It's nice to be able to justify it, if you have had a negative review, how you've handled it, and that really shows the nature of the business and how professional it is. But we saw an increase in website traffic, we saw an increase in credibility, we saw an increase in new patients, and ultimately an increase in revenue. And those reviews stay there for a long time. So they are building up. This screenshot was taken a while back, but now we're 277 Google reviews. And like I said, 99.9% of them would be 5-star, which is awesome. So if you guys want to do this in your clinic, this is one of the ways that I did it. So make it easy. This is my pro tip. Make it easy for people to talk about you. Make it easy for people to talk about you. This is the little known Google fact. This card hasn't been, I mean, it came out last year. I think we ran the campaign in November. This cost me like 25 quid. I bought like a little stand for it from Amazon, and it's called the contactless Google review card. So yes, we have lots of QR codes in clinics where people can leave us a review and so on. But this is like a, you know, when you pay with your phone, like you tap it, it takes you straight to the Google link. You place the URL before you ordered it with your specific clinic, and voila. You have an endless amount of people walking past it, asking what it is. Reception, your CAs, management team, front desk, whatever you want to call them, can occasionally. But also it's a reminder for staff to think about reviews, to think about the reputation of your business. So, guys, in my opinion, in summary, anyone can do that. It cost me probably 300-400 quid, maybe 500 quid max. A lot of it, that might sound like a lot of money, but the skeleton was 250-300 quid. I take the skeleton to every single spinal screening we do. We came up with a competition, we named it, patients talked about it, they left us lots of reviews that generated new patients, increased credibility, increased revenue. So the return on their investment is a no-brainer. Think of a big talking point. It doesn't have to be a skeleton, it can be something else. Run a creative competition, leave us a review, and enter a chance to win something cool and fancy, something that people usually like. Wine, cheese, teddy bear for kids, whatever it is. Get everyone to get hyped up, staff and clients. Talk about the reviews you're being left by clients with staff. It's such an amazing thing for your chiropractors to understand how good we are and how much we change people's lives. So you get goosebumps every time you read your reviews. Run it for 4 weeks, draw the winner, and just enjoy all the 5-star reviews you get. And by the way, the next slide, I'll just show you how we actually did that exact month. So this was, so it was November 2023, so a few months ago from the recording of the video. For that month, we had number of appointments, 2,231 visits. We had like 1,333 adjustments. So it wasn't a bad month for us at all. You can do the maths and you can see the revenue, what that would look like. A lot of people don't believe me when I say that I have created a $1 million practice plus that doesn't require me to work in the business. And that's what I teach people to do now. It's not for everyone, but I have come up with a playbook. This is what I coach people now on. We're working with a few clients that I'm hoping to really transform their businesses. I have 4 or 5 phases that we take people through. Phase 1 is about understanding their business, coming up with the right strategy, figuring out how to get some cash in the business, because most businesses actually struggle with that. Some businesses don't. Some businesses struggle with phase 4 and 5, especially 5. But phase 4 is about, I call it automation mastery. So how do we set up systems and procedures and processes and standard operating procedures that require you not to be in the clinic if you choose not to. I have gone from adjusting hundreds of patients to then working only 2 mornings a week to now not working at all as a chiropractor, and I've seen the whole process, and I can tell you what the good, the bad and the ugly is along the way. And phase 5, I call it operational excellence, and that's just allowing you for the freedom. I had a call with a good friend of mine, a colleague of mine today who needs help, and he said, look Stefan, I just want to be able to take a month off, travel, and my business not to be affected by it. And I said, you can't. You don't have a business. You've created a job for yourself. We need to make sure we generate an enterprise that works with or without you, if that's what you want. So yeah, that's why I'm really, really excited. I show people lots of stuff. This is kind of just more proof of what we do, what campaigns we run, what campaigns we teach people to do. But guys, listen, if you think about this question, I'll probably leave this question with every single video or podcast that I record, is how much is it costing you not knowing what you don't know? If you don't know how to make 100k a year, it's costing you 100k a year not knowing how to make 100k, or a month, depending on how you... So, if there is anyone who requires help, or this kind of video really speaks to you, or you've just had enough, you're like, I just need some help, I offer these free discovery calls. I may not be able to help you, but there is no cost involved, there's no commitment. If I cannot help you, I'll let you know, and I might even be able to give you some advice and guidance on the call, and we'll still stay friends. If I can help you and think we can work together, I'm a great fit, then great, I might be able to start our journey from there. But until then, I hope you found this video helpful. Go back, rewatch it, message me if you need to about the exact strategy we use, the exact way we set up the campaigns. Obviously that will take me hours to I teach people that privately, but I hope that inspired a lot of you to actually understand that business should be fun, business should be enjoyable when you know what you're doing. Otherwise, it is a headache. So I hope I've inspired a few of you. I have left my actual diary to my business calendar, my own calendar for the Practice Peak Consultancy. If any of you need help, click on there, schedule a call with me. If I can help you, amazing. If I can't, I'll try to give you some value. And thank you so much, guys. I would love and appreciate if you do subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I still read every single comment myself. Until next time, bye.